Hello, my name is Whitney, and today I'm going to be leading you in a yoga pulmonary exercise routine. To begin, we're going to start off in our standing position. All of our standing poses can be modified with the use of the chair. I'll explain those as they come along in the routine. After we complete our standing routine, we'll go into our seated routine, and after we've completed our seated routine, we'll finish it off with some stretches. To begin our standing portion of the yoga routine, we're going to start in a mountain pose. A mountain pose leaves our feet about shoulder width apart, arms out by our side, palms facing forward, head up, and we really focus on our balance and our posture. While we're doing this, I want you to focus on your breathing. If you'd like to close your eyes, you can. And we're going to rest in this pose for about 30 seconds. Okay, our next pose we're going to move into is our tree pose. Our tree pose can be a little tricky, so if you want to hold on to your chair, go ahead and place that hand that's closest to it on it. The tree pose involves lifting one foot off the ground. So if you're not able to do the complete tree pose, which looks like this, you'll bring your foot to your knee. If you're not able to do that, you can put your foot at your ankle, or you can just lift it off the ground and really lean into that standing leg. If you want to try it, bring that foot up to your knee, and we'll hold this pose for 30 seconds. Okay, now we're going to come around to the other side of our chair, and we're going to do the same thing on the opposite leg. So leave one leg standing. If you're able to, bring one leg up. If you're not, just lift it off the ground. Do what you can, and we're going to hold this pose for 30 seconds. Okay. Our next pose involves a lot more balance. So what we're going to do, if you need to use the chair, we're going to do a warrior pose. Warrior pose without a chair looks something like this. We lean into one leg. It essentially looks like a side lunge. And we're going to hold our arms out, and we would do this. However, if you need a chair, the modified version, you can put both hands on the back of the chair, still lunge, lean into that one leg, and we'll sit here for 30 seconds. If you feel comfortable with it, go ahead and put that front arm out. We're going to do 30 seconds on each side. Make sure the upper half of your body is standing tall, our shoulders are back. If you need to come out of it for a couple seconds and go back into it, feel free. Listen to your body. Okay, we're going to come back up and we're going to do that exact same pose, just with the opposite leg. Bring that opposite leg, bend it, straighten that back leg out. Hold on to your chair if you need to, and if you feel comfortable, stick that forward arm out again. Awesome. So our final pose of our standing section is called a standing twist. Our standing twist involves us putting our outside foot over our inside foot, placing one hand on the chair, taking our opposite hand, and grabbing our wrist. We really want to lean into that back shoulder. If you're not able to do this, what you can do is leave your feet uncrossed, about shoulder width apart like we did in our first pose, and still reach over and grab that wrist and really lean into that back shoulder. So, we're going to do this pose on each side for 30 seconds. Okay, we're going to bring that foot back over. We're going to walk to the other side of our chair, cross that outside leg, and grab our wrist. Remember to focus on your breathing. Use your pursed lip techniques like we've learned in class, and really lean into that back shoulder. Awesome. Now we're going to move into our seated portion. So for our seated portion, I want you to take a seat. Sit sort of close to the end of your chair, and we're going to take a minute and just shake out all of those tensions that we have from our standing portion. Awesome. To start our seated portion, we're going to do something called cat-cow. Cat-cow involves pushing your chest out, sitting up as tall as you possibly can, and then sinking back in. We're really going to focus on stretching our shoulders as well. So we're going to do our cat-cow poses. Just alternate between them as often as you see fit and as often as your body allows. And we're going to do this for 30 seconds. Let's do one more rotation. Push that chest out. Let it fall in. Really stretch your shoulders. Awesome. The next pose we're going to do is called triangle pose. So I want you to lift your arms out straight beside you. What we're going to do is rotate our opposite hand to our opposite foot. So if you have your right hand, you're going to go to your left ankle. We're going to really stretch out our back. Try and keep your back as far as possible. If you can't go to your foot, try and go to your knee. Just try and get that twist in as much as you can. And again, focus on your breathing and listen to your body. Awesome. If you need to, scoot back in your chair a little bit more. Shake out those arms. Sometimes that can be a little tough on the arms. We're going to hold our arms back like they were. This time we're going to take our other hand, put it to our other foot. If you can't do that, go to your knee or your calf, wherever your body feels comfortable. And focus on your breathing. Awesome. So now that we're sitting back up, for our next pose is called the pigeon pose. So I want you to take one leg, place the ankle of one leg on the top of your opposite knee. If you are not able to do this, you can leave your foot sitting and place your opposite elbow onto your opposite knee. But for those of you who can, let's put that ankle on our opposite knee. Rest our elbow on our knee and lean into it. Make sure when you're doing this, you're keeping your top foot flexed and your bottom foot flat on the floor. Really lean into it and focus on your breathing. Awesome. Now we're going to do the same thing with our other leg. The same modifications apply for this side. Really lean into it. Try and keep your back as flat as possible as well. Awesome. And now we're going to do our last pose, which is a forward bend. If you want to, scoot back in your chair again. Make sure you can keep your feet flat on the floor. And we're going to do a forward bend. So if you want, you can take your opposite hand and grab your opposite knee. Keep your back as flat as possible and just lean as far forward as you can. Really focus on your breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Now we're done with our poses. The next portion is just really some stretches. So to start, I want us to take our hands, stick them out in front of us, bring them together, interlock them, and twist them outward. Really lean into it. Feel that stretch in your shoulders and your back as well. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to put our arms behind us, clasp our hands together, flip it outward, and stretch. Really push your chest out, lift your head up, and just sit in it. Awesome. Next, we're going to stick one leg out straight, point the toes to the sky, and bend one leg. What I want you to do is take your hand and reach down as far as you can. If you need to lean on this bent knee, feel free, but really focus on your hamstrings and feeling the stretch in the back of your legs. Now we're going to switch our legs and do the exact same thing on the opposite side. Make sure you're feeling that pull in the back of your leg. Make sure your bent leg is flat on the floor and stretch as far as you can. Awesome. Now we're going to do one more twist. I want our arms out by our side, and we're going to twist to our right side. Hold this for 30 seconds. If you need to, use the edge of your chair to keep that arm still. Awesome. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Twist to our left. Really feel those stretches in your back and your arms. Awesome. And our final stretches are some neck stretches. So we're going to look up, down, and to each side. We're going to hold each for 15 seconds, and I'll tell you when to switch. So let's start with looking at the ceiling. Now let's look down, look at the floor. Tuck your chin in as much as possible. Now let's look to our right. And to our left. And we're done.